Hi guys, welcome back to the Artificer channel, and thank you for bearing with me on this journey. There's a lot more to come. I've actually finally sorted out a mic as well, but I just wanted to take a quick couple of seconds to thank you for the 286 subscribers. Without you, this channel wouldn't be possible, and I really cannot wait to show you what I've been starting to work on and what interesting kits I've got next. But in the meantime, let's crack on and get on with part 2 of this fantastic build. Doing a dry fit of the engine is always a really nice way to see if the rest of the structure is in a right configuration. So I just did a quick dry fit here to see if everything looked like it would fit. And then it was on to just attaching the spine of the helicopter as well. Remember that everything on the AB-47 is pretty much like a skeleton, open to the elements. So when you're adding this piece here, you've got to make sure this is completely cleaned up, because this is going to be visible to the outside. Literally sitting on top of the back of the helicopter like a spine. I decided to add some new details, so I got some stretched sprue and created a electrical wire that runs to the back of the helicopter, runs to the back of the tail rotor. I think it looks pretty good. It's important with the back fin construction that you get those holes right, because that's literally your guides to fit it underneath the fuselage. As you can see here, it's already placed in. It was just a case of just passing it through one of the holes inside the back, where there are 2 points where you can actually glue it in. It fits quite nicely really, and then it was the case of putting the other fin on. I didn't like these parts. As you'll see, they just look awkward. This is a light fixture at the back. It doesn't really have much of a point of contact, but I think I managed to do well. This fin was very fiddly, and it just didn't look like it fit properly. So after a lot of trial and error, I think I managed to finally put it into a position that I was happy with. Still didn't like it though, I'm still not sure about it even today. But it's part of the kit, so we'll leave it in there. And these were really unusual parts, as you can see, very fiddly. So I do suggest taking one end and gluing it on the end of that tube to start with, just to make it so much easier. Again, because there are a lot of holes in this helicopter, it's very difficult with using the instructions to figure out where to put it, but I think you eventually figure it out if you just count down the zigzag lines. Although it looks frustrating to watch, the dry fit is really important. decided to use super glue in the end. It was a much easier idea and an easier option. However, I realised halfway through that the best thing would be is to glue down that piece just with a little bit of Tamiya. So that's what I used, was the extra thin cement, just to keep that in place while I glued the rest of it. Once it was in place, because of the quick drying capabilities of the Tamiya thin cement, it meant that I could easily put on the rest of the part that needed to be attached. I say easily, it does ping off here. You always got to be careful of those tricky parts. Why I use thin cement instead of super glue, I will never know. Definitely not going to make that same mistake again. As you can see, it doesn't have the quick enough drying capability. It dries way too quick. So you have to do it very, very quickly, and you have to be very patient, as you can see here. Finally. Overall, I was quite happy. It wasn't easy to build. The part placement wasn't clear on the instructions, but I think with some added detail and my little wire running through the back, I think once it's all painted up, it would look really nice. Overall though, I was quite happy with the way it turned out. Now this was the next part, was the tricky construction of the landing gear, well, the skids effectively. It's only 4 pieces, but as you can see, it can be pretty fiddly. Nice quick drying contact glue from Tamiya gets the job done. However, with the placement of the wheels, I think super glue is much better for you to use in this area. Because again, sometimes the contact glue just dries too quick, or it doesn't dry in a way that you want it to. These wheels were tricky. It wasn't easy to put them on. I think in hindsight I would use super glue. It'd be an instant fix. After a lot of trial and error, I finally was able to get the skids put together. And then I put the front of the fuselage with the control panels and where the pilots will sit. It's pretty much the only solid part of the helicopter, really. Those 4 little nubs that you see there are really good guides to give you an idea of where the structure fits to the skid so you don't get it off balance. Obviously I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so it took me a while to actually get it lined up to the way I wanted it. Once I did, it's just a case of just adding some Tamiya glue, really.